guys, RC here. We are back with a new Football Manager 19 save. Don't worry, the Infield Town Hometown Hero series is not going anywhere. That's still the primary save going on. But I was thinking the other day, the game's been out for a couple of months, officially out of beta since November. And there was a save in particular that I wanted to try, and it was going to be a long-term save as well. And so I figured this was a good time to start it. We're nearing the end of January, so this, basically will be starting up early, at the beginning of February. And that gives us basically about 9 months to play out this save before FM20 is slated to come out. So I figured if I didn't start it now, that I may not get it done or may not get as far as I want. And of course, who knows? I may get fired and we don't make it that far. But anyway, let me kind of give you the background of where we're coming from. First off, I have pilfered this idea from Loki Doki. Now, granted, he's not the only one that's ever done this, but it was a save that he did this year. What was funny in his case is he was going to actually stop that save after, I think, the third season. And then he said he was going to go one more season. And I think he's gone three more seasons since then, and he doesn't look like he's going to stop it now. But I had already gotten it into my head when he said, yes, we're closing this off. We're not going to do this save anymore. That it was an opportunity that, and I did mention it, and he said go for it. So, I felt fine in taking the reins there. Also, I had been doing some looking around, and in many of the articles doing searches for FM19 challenges, this is one that came up. Basically, it is called the head coach challenge or the director of football challenge. Those are interspersed basically with a few minor differences. Basically, in a nutshell, I already play like this most of the time anyway. The only thing that's going to be different, well, let me back up here. So the nuts and bolts of this challenge are you are the head coach or the manager of a club, and that's it. You have no input on the day-to-day operations of the club. You don't have any input on player scouting, player signings, player transfers. Now, after watching Loki attempt this, there were some changes that he made, and I'm going to use those as well. So we'll talk about that as we get into it. The next question was what club to use. So what I did is I actually went online on my phone this morning, and I did a search for the and it came in on the Mirror, so you guys can see that there. But it's a article from, does it give me a date here? Yes, April 15th, 2016. And the author's name was David Dubas Fisher, with a hyphen. But it is what football teams have fallen the furthest down the league ladder. And there was a list of clubs. Nottingham Forest for one, Stockport County, and then they basically went down. So Stockport County in this article had fallen at this time 99 places from their highest ever finish, which was by 4 places, the most in England. And so first thing I did, I went to YouTube. I did a search for FM19 Stockport. Somebody was doing a save for them, so I said, well, not going to go there. The next team was Workington, and they have fallen 95 places. And let's see what it says about them. Let's see. It may not say anything. Oh, Only one team has fallen anywhere near as far as Stockport, that being Workington. The Cumbrian side currently sits 6th place in the 7th tier of English football, the Northern Premier League. However, back in 1965-66, they finished 5th place in the old 3rd division, which is now League One, the equivalent of 49th in the country, in the entire country. And that's 95 places higher than their current position at the time of this article. Now, this says the Northern Premier League. So if we go to Workington, so we are still in the Northern Premier League. Okay. So that's the club that I decided to go with. So when I took over, and again, this is going to be mostly informational. We may not even get to a match today, but we have some transfer news to look at. We have, well, while we're talking, I'll try to get to tomorrow, which is our match, our opener. So I didn't have a GM. And as a coach, I'm not, as the head coach in this head coach challenge, I'm not supposed to, and I'm actually, since we're using a director of football, I'm actually calling it the Orta challenge, because I'm a Leeds fan, and most Leeds fans pretty much hate the director of football, Orta, with Leeds. So I'm calling it the Orta challenge. But anyway, so we're going to be playing with Workington. And the goal is to try to build this club up and get them promoted as high as we can while not having any input on the players that we get. All right, so how are we going to work this? Well, if we go into the staff and the responsibilities overall, basically I have made the club president have the ability to hire and fire the GM. I don't have any input on who that person will be. So they could suck, they could be decent. The GM will be in charge of all staff recruitment and all transfers. Now, the only thing I have put down is to finalize them. And here's the only caveat that I'm going to use. Basically, I plan to rubber stamp anything he does. But there is, in doing some reading on this, there is a penchant for the AI to, say, sign 6 center backs. Well, if you only need 2 or 3, all those other 3 are just extra guys. So if they sign, if they keep signing at a position I don't need, I don't really want that dragging down the financial side, the budget and the salaries. So I want to have the ability to reject some of those as needed. If I don't need to, then I won't. And here's the way that'll work. So let's say I say, okay, I need 2 center backs, and he brings in 2 or 3, and I say, good, approved. And then he brings in 2 or 3 other ones that are actually better. Well, I can either keep them and then have 6 center backs where I only needed 2, and then try to hope he sells or gets rid of some of the other players, or I'll reject them outright. Even if they're better, I'll go, well, I just don't want the financial burden, depending on where we're at. So that's one caveat. The other thing that we can do, and the thing that Loki shows in his episodes, is when you get to the end of the season, and he did this like the first year or two, basically his general manager re-signed everybody. So what you have to do at the end of the season is you have to go into a player and you actually have to add to the unwanted list. And that's all you're doing. You're just adding them to the unwanted list, and you leave it unspecified, and it sets them to transfer. But, he will control the price that he gets if he tries to sell them. But that's really the only way to force his hand to try to sell a player. The first week that I took over, my assistant manager got poached for a head coaching job, so kudos to him. So right now, this is what I am dealing with. I have myself, and I am a National C license or actually, I'm a Sunday league player with no license. I just started a coaching badge class course for my Class C. So hopefully my ratings here go up over time. Robert Davies was hired early on as head of youth development, and we just hired Craig Madden as our assistant coach. Again, I didn't do that. The general manager did. And boy, he's a peach. What a gem. He's going to be great for us, being able to, evaluate players. So that was a great signing. If we take a look at also, you can see we are pretty close to the league average in most of the positions. Attacking, we're really high, so we're doing all right there. On the recruitment team, I think they're hopefully they hire one scout, but we're already pretty much league average or better across the board. And here is our general manager, which is Gary Roberts. Again, we did not have one. I tried to hire one, and then I said, screw it, because they all wanted like $25,000. And of course, our president goes out and hires one for $17.25. Not great, 4-5 potential, but what are you gonna do? Hopefully, he gets better over time. I do have, as I showed you, the club president has the ability to fire and hire the general manager, and he just started a coaching course of his own, so hopefully he gets better as well. Let's see, what else? So we have played some friendlies. Workington, that was our under 23, our inter squad that you do when you first take over a club. We played Leeds United. We lost 4-1. Brad Hubbold scored. It'll take me a little time to get used to these players, but I know the Leeds players very well. Kamar Roof, Calvin Phillips scored. Ken, Tamuzakov, I think that's how we pronounced it, but he's not even with the club anymore. He scored in the 61st minute. Kyle May gave up an own goal. We then rolled off, we beat Glen Turan 2-1. Scott Allison, who I think is going to be my primary striker, scored a brace. We lost to Nottingham Forest 2-1. Played them tough. We actually were down 2-0. Jamie Mellon got a goal, but we challenged them tightly. Glen Afton, we got a 2-1 win. Jason Walker, I think we won that. Let's see. Away. Yes, we won that. Okay. 2-1. I don't remember the badge just yet. And this is a club I know nothing about. Nothing at all. So if you're a I want to make sure I call them right. If you are a Workington fan, feel free to talk to me about your club. Let me know about them. Definitely will be interested to learn. And but anyway, Murray and Walker both scored within the first 7 minutes, and we held on for a 2-1 win. Dungannon, who is that? Dungannon. I need to stretch that out. The Dungannon Swifts. There we are. And I want to delete. I want to actually delete this column here. Remove this column. There we go. There we go. All right. Dungannon, we beat 2-0. Mellon and Walker scored again. Penrith, we beat them 2-1. Connor Tinian with a brace. Josh Calvert was sent off late in the game. They did get a 90th minute goal after that. Portadown, we beat 3-1. Mellon, Allison, and then Jason Colbert scored an own goal for the other side. And then we beat Gretna 2008 3-1. The reason I brought in Leeds and Nottingham was for money purposes. We actually started in the positive, but we have actually climbed up here. So we had little over, about 12,000, and so we're up to 13 now. So we've turned a little bit more profit. Now we are spending over our payroll budget. Now again, I have no control over that, so that's troubling. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I get held accountable for that or not. And the other thing I'm going to do in this save, or I will attempt to do, but I am by far from anything from a tactical, not, juggernaut in this game. In fact, I don't really understand setting the tactics. I've had a lot of trouble with them in the past. And if you're watching my infield save, you know that I have actually downloaded some tactics that I use. Because this game, FM19, came with some preset, I am actually using some of those. So we're using this vertical tick attack in the first slot. We are using the gegenpress in the second slot, and wing play in the third slot. I figure you can't go wrong with a 4-4-2. And then these are basically the same formation, just moving from a defensive mid up to a number 10. So that's, a little more attacking, a little more defensive, and then kind of a basic, plus putting 2 attackers up top. It seems that having one up top is a little tough in FM19. Now, I haven't played with that a lot, so I can't judge that for myself. So, but that's what I plan to do. I plan to use some of these defaults and kind of make my own adjustments and try to do the tactics myself. And we'll go from there. So if you guys have any thoughts on how we're set up, any suggestions on some things, if you've tried this type of challenge before, let me know in the comments. Give me some pointers, some tips. Certainly I'm open to tactical ideas, because I'll make the final decision on whatever I do, but if you see something that I'm doing and go, man, that guy would be better in this and that would fit here, and then explain why, because I want to learn as well as just, I don't want to just click buttons and make changes. I'd like to understand why you're feeling something. But anyway, that's what we're going to be doing in this particular save. So let's real quick look at the transfers. And we brought in a couple of players. We brought in one loanee, and he came in from Carlisle, and that is Sam Adewusi. Pretty good ability and potential, according to my assistant manager. He can play that number 10. He can play the central. He can drop back and play that defensive mid. Not really great, but, so he could play in that 4-4-2. He could play the number 10. He could play one of the 2 central mid roles, the ball-winning midfielder, in that tick attack number 1 tactic that we've got. Pretty good physicals, pacey acceleration, can run for a long while with good stamina. Teamwork, work rate, decisions is climbing up, so that's good. Marking, tackling, not horrific, so he's not horrible on the defense side of the ball. Passing is also okay, as is crossing and dribbling, so I think he's a well-rounded all-around player. He's already started 2 matches and come off the bench once for us. Then we brought in, on a free, Jason Walker from Chorley. And he is a striker up top. He's started 5 matches, come off the bench in 3, scored twice, and 1 player of the match. Not very pacey. He is 34. Ugh. Likes to move into channels, shoots from distance, which I don't like, especially when your long shots is below a 10. Places his shots, he comes deep to get the ball. So maybe a deep lying forward is more natural for him, just something to think about. But he does have natural fitness, which has helped him, but again, he's 34, so we are starting to see a deterioration in his physicals. Mentals are really good across, mostly across the board. Good work rate, good aggression, determination. First touch, finishing, all average at 10. He can actually shoot a penalty, which at lower league levels, that's a rarity. So I'm not sure how much he's going to play at 34, but we will see. I don't know what that means. Brad Hubbold came in from Holker OB on an undisclosed fee. Okay. It doesn't tell me here. It does not. I have no idea what we paid for him. So he's another central midfielder. He is 25. Stamina, pace. So again, pretty good physicals for this level especially. Mentals are average. Again, if you're used to looking at Premier League, you're used to seeing 14, 15, 16 or better as being average. Lower leagues, 7s and 8s are not uncommon, and other things are like he has a penalty taking of 4. Really good first touch, decent passing, decent technique. Not great on the tackling, but he can mark. So defense, he won't be a huge liability. So he came in. Joshua Murray came in on a free transfer. He's a right back, can also play center back. The one thing I've had a lot of problems in my infield save is heading, but he has jumping reach of 10, heading of 7. He is 6 feet tall, so he could slide over there. But tackling, marking is good. Passing is good. Crossing is actually acceptable with a 6. He does have pace and acceleration and decent stamina to get over the top on the wing. So like him, and he's already started 6 matches since coming in after we started the season. And then Chris Owens came in. He's a left back. Again, really, decent physicals, not quite as good, but his mentals are a little bit better. Marking is a 9, tackling's a 9, passing. So he is really good. So if we look at this tactic here, for example, right there, and wait, who was that? Let me make sure I was looking at the right guy. Chris Owens, yes. All right, so Chris Owens, I've switched him to be my attacking player because he has the better crossing and dribbling. So I've made him my attacker. I've left Murray on support. Again, can't cross quite as good, but he's better on the defensive side. But I've left him on support. He can come forward because he has the pace and agility. So anyway, that's the signings that we've had for the club. We haven't lost anybody, I don't believe. Don't recall seeing anybody. All transfers. Released players, nobody. Okay. All right, so so that's the new club. And then, of course, we'll get to know the players a little bit more. Relatively small squad right now. I don't even know what the rules are, but let's see. Season preview, we were picked mid-table, 8-1 odds. So, that's our goal, is to finish top half this year. If we look at our competitions, they want mid-table. There's our cup positions they want. And so let's get into the match. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the challenge. Have you ever tried the challenge? Anything like that. I'm not going to criticize a 595. Let's see. Jenkins. We've actually got a pretty nice keeper. All right, we are in red with the white chevron on it. It's a pretty nice looking kit. Bamber Bridge, we are favorites. I think we're favorites. Let's see, there was something. Yes, home advantage. There we are. All right, so let's go into the team selection. Now, I do use the quick pick a lot. Again, if you look at my skill rating against my assistant manager, it's pretty tough. So 5 subs here. We have to have a keeper on the bench. All right, Taylor's definitely our top keeper. Murray is the new guy. Wordsworth. Now, Smith is wanted. What kind of contract is he on? All right, he is contracted. Okay, so that's fine. So again, just before we start here, I will not be doing anything with scouting, sending scouts out. I will not be doing any type of offers. When I find out that we're getting a player, you'll find out we're getting a player. And that's how we're going to kind of go with this. Now, I can, if I have guys like this 34-year-old guy, I have a 35. Well, he's 35 now. I may just not want him. So, but is anybody going to pick him up? He's on a non-contract, so he's not hurting us any. 130 per appearance, 7 for an unused substitute. So, he's not costing me anything. He, what's his leadership? Does it tell us? Leadership 11. Okay. So, he has a pretty good work rate and everything. So, maybe he can benefit some of the other players being around. All right, well, let's submit the team and get to our first match of the season. I'm pretty excited. I've, again, I started playing Football Manager like around version 11 or 12. I think it was 12. So I played 12, skipped 13, bought 14, and then, but I never really got into it. And this was before I was doing my YouTube channel. Let's see, addressing. I want to change that. Okay, I do need to change this, the pep talk. But I can't do that till after the game, I don't think. But anyway, that's something for later. All right. So we're in the red again. Let me make sure we have, nope, we don't want key highlights. Match speed during highlights is fine. Match speed between highlights, we want to actually go very fast. Director, actually let's go behind the goal. Replay events are for goals. And those are fine. Notifications. All right. All right. All right. Owens is tackled. Ball goes out of bounds. And actually, I think I want to speed slightly faster. Oh. All right. Tinian into the box. Oh. Adewusi, first goal of the season. Boy, he came off of that line like a rhino. Blasted it in with a good header. I thought that was going straight to the keeper. Boy, he got out there nice. Cut that off. Very good. Adewusi is a... All right, he's one of my central mids. Good deal. Good deal. I'm glad to see this carried over from my other save. That's good. All right, Tinian off the corner. Cowperthwaite. Cowperthwaite. Cowperthwaite? I don't know. Uh-oh, the wife's mad. She's on a rampage like a rhino this morning. Kids aren't doing what they're supposed to do. All right. So we're dominating this match. I'm pretty happy right now. But we're winning 2-0, but we're down to 4th position. Come on. Praising it. Uh-oh, Wordsworth is overwhelmed. All right, Murray into the box. Back to Allison. Oh, a little too far. Tinian drops it back to Owens. Adewusi into Murray. Oh, look at that. Just crossing the ball back and forth. Connor Tinian puts in his first of the season. All right. 3-0 in the first half. I'm definitely stoked by that. All right. Dressing room. Yeah, I'm going to need to change that. I'll make sure I do that after this match. And this will be the only match. It will go a little long because of... Uh-oh. We lost the ball there. Oh, nice first touch. He just plucked that right out of the air. That was a good job by him. Over the top. Oh, it was disallowed. He was offsides. Thank goodness. Taylor came out for that ball, but was a step slow. Need to be a little more aggressive there. Was he offsides? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, Allison puts it over the top. Atkinson gets to the ball. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of subs here. Let's see, defensive left. So I'm going to bring Smith over to there. Then I have Douglas. Let's bring Calvert in. I'll bring Calvert into the center. He's not great on defense. He's not very good at all. But he is 6'2". He's got decent jumping and heading. He's got the pace that I like. Who's my other... Matty Douglas. Much better defender. Much better header, too. You know what? I'm going to undo that. So, Chris Owens... So, yeah, I'm going to bring in Matty Douglas instead. All right. Who else are we going to bring in? Or who else do we need to bring in? Adewusi looks pretty knackered. Do I have anybody that can play that mid-center? I have a mid-right. Okay, so that's an attacking mid. Silly boy. All right. What you doing, George? All right, so he's mid-center. I don't have anybody that can really play there, so the only guy on the bench is McLucky. Hold on, my cat's stuck. Well, get out of there, dude. Come on. Come here, George. Hey, come here. Come here. Come on. There you go. Get out of the plastic. There you go. There's my boy. All right, now you can go. God damn, that hurt. He sliced me open. Oh, man. Ow. Sorry about that. Attacking mid right. Mid. So he can play mid center. So let's drop him back to here. And then we'll put him in. It's on the opposite side, but that's okay. I don't think that's the end of the world. All right, let's give him a concentrate. Oh, they're overwhelmed. Oh my God, he wants us to concentrate. We don't get paid enough to do that. Pearson lays it off to Awansu. Oh, and he slides it in past Taylor. You just lost the clean sheet there, Taylor. Good finish, though. Good finish. Come on, boys. All right. I've got a keeper, a striker, and another central defender. So I can move Douglas now over to this side, and then Murray I can pull off for Calvert. All right, that's going to be our last sub. All right, Wordsworth Allison, was he on sides? He drives it inside. Nice job. He just kicked it right into the guy in front of him. All right, Smith plays it across. Cowperswaith. Tinian. Atkinson, good save. It was on target. That was positive. Calvert plays it back to Taylor. He gets it out. Smith back into Taylor. Allison gets the head on it and heads it forward. All right, Tinian on the attack. Cuts it inside from range. Off target, high and wide. All in all, good first match of the season for us here, I would think. All right, McLucky holds it up, drives it inside. That should get us to the stoppage whistle. Yep, there we go. 3-1. Good job, fellas. Very happy. 15 shots to 6. Dominated possession. Edge on corners. A lot less fouls. A lot less fouls than I'm used to my clubs committing. And the atmosphere among the squad is growing. All right. Well, we're going to call that an episode. Let's take a look where we are at. So we are 4th with a +2 goal differential. And what I want to do is I'm probably going to play a handful of games. Kind of like to play a little bit more early in the season to try to get to know the team. So let's get through this away batch, and then let's come back for Scarborough and Lancaster. That way we have a home and an away, and we'll have a trio of these away games to kind of evaluate where we're at. And hey, 364 fans came out. Pretty excited about that. Not sure how that helps us financially, but this is a concern. And I am not sure how we're going to be treated with that, since we're not doing anything. I mean, that's all on the GM. Does he get fired for that? Tinian. 1 goal, 2 assists, your chances. There you go. All right, guys, leave a like, especially for the first episode of a series. That just helps more people possibly find it. And I would be appreciative and grateful for that. Leave any comments you have, especially things that we talked about during the episode. And we'll see you next time. Have a great one. Take care. Bye.